I guess what makes my way of recording unique might be various disciplines that I employ, having spent time in the classical world as well as pop and jazz, that I'm able to find, depending on the instrument and depending on the repertoire, that close miking isn't giving me what I want. Maybe it lacks the definition and clarity, so maybe I can pull out a classical miking technique that'll get a better picture of that instrument. I think working consistently in good rooms. I've been fortunate to do a lot of recording at Avatar, which was formerly Power Station. I know the rooms really well, but I could tell you I might have been one of the only guys to hang like a Decca tree, which is a classical 3-mic configuration, over a jazz band. Do you know what I mean? That was a sort of an approach that was not asked for, but I thought, I think for this particular ensemble, and it was a big band, let's see what a reach, the tree might be. What's the difference between that and an orchestra, if you really think about it. And I think being able to sort of, pull from a variety of disciplines, both with microphone choice and the placement, has been maybe the thing that separates me from some of the other engineers that might have a much closer miking experience, and they get great sounds that way as well. And I can't say I do it always the same. I do let the player determine that. Best recording experience I'm finding to cut at a much lower level. I'm not hitting converters as hard as I used to. Maybe sort of dialing back to allow a true and natural dynamic range to happen before it clips. I don't introduce processing in between. I cut flat, and I think it was a great thing I had seen Al Schmidt do as well. Really try to keep the recording as pristine without any dynamic interruption, even control. The best advice I could give to an aspiring sound engineer would be to get to know their microphone. I think whether it's what they own or what they have access to, really diving into what the patterns offer. Once you pad it, if it needs to be rolled off, what are those switches for? What do they do? What is this mic like at 6 inches? What is this mic like at 6 feet? Whatever the mic happens to be, really familiarize yourself with its characteristic, because like I said, that's like a paintbrush. You're in the studio and all of a sudden it needs to be a much wider brush. You're gonna need an Omni microphone. If you've never heard one before, you're gonna be surprised. So the world isn't all about cardioids. The subcard brings a great frequency response for certain applications as well. Figure 8 will work wonders, if you are on stage and you have nulls that you got to, for cancellation and leakage and stuff. So I said they're out there, and know the mics, know the patterns, and it'll serve you well.